Hi, everybody. Paul Walsh here once again with my friend Michael Dobbs. And today we're going to talk about shrink. Typically, when I think about shrink historically, I think about things that are being stolen, pilferage, things of that nature. But there's many different types of shrink, which includes having too much product, ending up having to throw it away. In fact, I worked years ago with a retailer in the UK where we were predicting demand for lettuce, because one of the business problems they had is that a lot of people in the UK use lettuce as part of their barbecues. If the weather was bad, then they would end up not selling out the lettuce and they'd have to throw it away. So to the extent that you can do a better job of making sure you have enough product, not throwing things away, you can reduce shrink. I am not an expert on shrink, but Michael is. And so I'm going to let Michael sort of talk a little bit more in depth about how we help companies do a better job of dealing with this really big problem.
Thanks, Paul. We see a lot of retailers today, their methodology for looking at shrink is to understand what has shrunk in the past, or in other words, what they've had to throw out or what there's been a loss in the store, and try to order less of that or simply try to avoid that without really understanding the root cause for what the shrink is. So what we've been doing is we've been working with retailers to get to kind of that root cause. We use data science in order to drive an understanding of why you've got this shrink, and then be able to work with the retailer to fix it so that you don't have that shrink going forward. Let me talk to you about some examples of how you can do this. Paul mentioned one. If you know that the weather is going to be such that certain perishable items that you might have in the store are not going to sell, make sure you don't order those items. That's pretty simple. Or, which this doesn't help shrink, but if you know that you're really going to sell something, make sure you order enough. But there are other things you can do as well. So what about a situation where you have certain products that certain demographic groups maybe don't like as much? Certain milk products, for example, don't sell as well in different ethnic areas. And yet what we often see is that retailers may stock the same amount of that product in all stores. We can work with retailers to understand which products sell best in different demographics or different income areas, as the case may be, and make sure that as they're doing their planograms for those stores, they're setting them correctly. So those are just two examples of how we can use science and data science to help minimize shrink and drive sales at the same time. If you've got any questions, if you'd like to understand any more about how we can help you to manage shrink at a local store level as well as an enterprise level, please feel free to reach out to Paul or myself. We'd love to talk to you. Thank you.